Lera City. I'm now at a school where students are going to begin the examinations this morning, A-level. And with me now, I have my guest this morning, who is the headmaster of the school, and they're preparing to begin the examination today. Yesterday, I met the coordinator of this area. The examinations were brought here and reached here in Lera City around 5 p.m. and they were dispatched to different places in Lera. And right now, I have the headmaster of the school, of this very school, who is going to take us through how prepared they are for this examination. Mr. Headmaster, can you tell me how you are prepared for this A-level examination, which is going to start presently?
Thank you very much, Mr. Chen. My name is Okware John Augustus, the teacher of Mentor Secondary School, Lera. The school Mentor being a leading school in this city and in Lamu sub-region, we are fully prepared because the parents trust us with the clean and honest results. Our candidates are very ready. You can see them in good mood. We have done everything possible to prepare them for this examination, and we expect the very best out of them.
In addition to that, what other preparations have you made before this examination?
These children have covered the syllabus very well. They have been prepared, they have been facilitated, and it was the day we are actually waiting for. Yeah.
Okay. How many are sitting?
We have 100 sitting.
In terms of co-curricular activities, what have you done to the school?
In terms
outside activities?
We have,
in the areas of science.
In the areas of science, we have done a lot. As you are well aware, this school is a leading school in science. And our students do a lot. They do very well in science. In fact, in the course of the year, we have had a leading student, the best in mathematics contest among them. We have had a lot of achievements in the school. Even outside the academics, we have done co-curricular. We are leading school in football. We are the champions in Lamu sub-region, in all other games, and in debate. We have in science, we have science innovations. We were the first runner-up nationally. I am very confident of my students because the parents trust us, the community, the state, the stakeholders, the management. I want to thank them for trusting my administration with the programs of the school. And today that we are having the first paper.
Which paper are you going to start with?
That is physics. We are having physics, the first paper, and the candidates are fully prepared because, you know, most of the time our candidates are in the lab. They are very practical, and as I told you, for us, our results are clinical and honest because we don't want to be in problems with the examination authorities. And I know that these students will make it.
Taking you back in the previous examination, what did you score?
Back in the previous examinations, in the leading results have always been from especially science. In history, we have had students who have scored 19 points, 18 points, 17. Some of them are doing very well in fact, most of them are doing very well in the universities, both inside and outside.
How many did you send to the university that year?
Last year, we sent to the university about 50 of them, approximately.
And what's your projection this year?
And this year, we are expecting to send more because we are even expecting to get better results.
Out of how many?
Only that some of the students went outside, like we have those who are going to Algeria for medicine and surgery. We already have those who are in Hungary. There is one, a copy Maxwell, who is doing airplane engineering, and many others.
Okay. Thank you so much. That has been the headmaster of Mental Secondary School, which students are ready to begin the examination this morning. I now take you back to the studio in Kampala. I'm Julian Hussein reporting for NTV in Lira City. Good morning.
To Kampala Central. Thank you so much, Kenneth Odele. Now we get to continue on with the conversations around elections. Today is the 10th of November. Officially, according to the roadmap, courtesy of the Electoral Commission, this is the day when over 2,000 parliamentarian candidates are going out there to also rally the masses for votes in the constituencies and in the different special interest groups. And so we want to examine the link between democracy, elections, and security, and the role by and large of security in Uganda's electoral process, as now the heat is officially up and about. Now, the election security is the backbone of any credible election process. For elections to be orderly, efficient, and even fair, security agencies must work hand in hand with the electoral management body and other stakeholders to ensure that the process is actually safeguarded rather than undermined. Now, in Uganda, the effectiveness and impartiality of security agencies during elections remains a subject of growing concern by many stakeholders, including yourself. Many citizens argue that while security forces are meant to actually be protecting the voters in this period and the integrity of the polls, the integrity of campaigning, their actions have always and often shown that there's infringement in one way or another, and that has led to violations such as human rights violations. Now, just last week we saw tensions flaring in Barra when we did have the convoy, the National Unity Platform presidential candidate there, and reported disruptions by the security personnel, and this led to several arrests. Now, today we want to unpack what really happened in that case, use it to magnify the picture to the rest of the team that is coming on board as of today, and what it does reveal between the borderlines of democracy, elections, and security in Uganda. Joining me is the National Treasurer for the National Unity Platform, Benjamin Katana. Good morning to you.
Good morning, Priscilla. It's a great pleasure.
Okay. First and foremost, it's been over a month for your presidential candidate, flag bearer, traversing different parts of the country. And when we look to the state of security, how would you measure the security and its roles and responsibility towards the campaign trails that you've been on so far?
Well, indeed it's true that we have been moving across the country for the last maybe 1 month now, and the campaigns have been going on well. We of course have been under heavy surveillance, heavy restriction, and now last week, but even maybe before last week, we have had a few skirmishes with security. But I think the highlight was what transpired the week that we have just ended, in particularly Ankole region, starting with the attacks on our candidate in the district of Chiruhura, the attacks on our advance team in the district of Kazo, and the massive arrests that took place in Mbarara district when we had just finished our rally in Mbarara city. But that coming on the backdrop of a space where you find, because democracy ideally thrives in an environment where state institutions are independent of politics and other personal interests of individuals that run the structure of the state government. But in a country like ours, where you find that what would be democracy is on paper, but in practice you are dealing with an entrenched military dictatorship, where state institutions are used as weapons by those in offices of authority to pursue personal interests, including political power, then it's not surprising that you have incidents of this nature. Because the mentality and attitude and psyche of the people that run the security infrastructure of the country is that they look at themselves as an extension of the political machinery of the incumbent. And if anybody is up against the incumbent, then he becomes, in their mind, a legitimate target of harassment, of unnecessary arrests, of torture, of arrests, and things of that nature. Mm-hmm. So what is transpiring is not new. It has been happening in Uganda. That's why you have people that are in detention since 2021 who have not been tried, the machetes and the rest. That's why you have Dr. Besigye in jail without being tried. That's why you have people like Sam Mugumya, their whereabouts are unknown, and nobody can point to a crime they have committed and have been tried for.
Okay.
Yes.
Councillor Katana, just help us, give us a clearer picture of what were the realities on the ground, especially in the most recent incident in Mbara that led to security agencies coming through that with that strong of an arm.
Well, first of all, the state has not come out to to give a clear answer on what prompted them to, first of all, frustrate our campaigns, because when they ambushed us, we are going to have to attend our rallies in Wizubwera and Rubindi, that's in Mbarara district. So, but they have been giving fractured answers, including that they were looking for specific individuals. But if you are looking for specific individuals, then you don't frustrate campaigns of those who have not committed a crime. There are many Ugandans who are waiting to be addressed at those two rallies. They are citizens that are going to participate in the electoral process. They are waiting to be voted. They are waiting for the candidate to come and speak to them. You have the candidate and other people who are not accused of any crime being now frustrated by this fracas. So they have not come out to explain. And but of course, I believe they have no explanation beyond what they have said. Okay. But we left peacefully. We left our point. We left our rally at the playground of Mbara High School. That's in Mbara City. And we were driving towards Wizubwera. When we had reached close to Wizubwera, we fell in an ambush.
When you say fell in an ambush, that means on the road, on your way, you found
yes,
a blockade.
They blocked ahead, and once we entered their cordoned off area, they closed us from the rear as well. Yeah. So the front and the rear were both closed off.
Okay.
So they started harassing, assaulting people, pushing them out of cars, beating them. You saw pictures of women who are undressed. I was personally assaulted by a police officer using a rifle. And several other people, you have seen women who are undressed. You have seen, there were people who were carried from there, put in ambulances on account of the physical assault they sustained from security personnel. So in that fracas, many people were injured, including the wife of the candidate, and many other people. So even the people who were arrested, we went to see them on Saturday morning. Some of them are terribly injured.
So how many were arrested according to your figures versus according to police, and how many still remain in custody of?
When we visited the police station, on that day, I went with the leader of opposition and the Secretary General. We had the chance to come close to the cells. And the people who were inside told us there are over 100. Subsequently, we sent a team of lawyers who to date have been denied access, which is also a violation of the rights of the people that are incarcerated. Police has come out with a figure of 89 persons. I was receiving calls from a number of people in Ankole, in Ushenyi, whose children had come to attend the rally and were arrested. Yes, they have now been told that they are among those that were picked. So not everyone who has come to a rally is known to us. These are largely young people from around that area. You saw there's a couple.
These are voters, they're not National Unity Platform.
Yes, there was a couple that sang at the rally in Mbarara City. The man was arrested. So there are several other people. When we went to the cells the other day, I saw a woman who left a child of 6 months at home and came to attend the rally. Now she was requesting that they at least allow people to bring the child to be breastfed. But they couldn't allow. These people have not had, even their next of kin have not had access to them. The injured people have not had access to medical care. So that's what we are dealing with.
So in that case, where things stand as of this Monday morning, many of them are still incarcerated.
Yes.
You have rightly said that your legal team has been denied access to the people there. It begs the question, with the picture that we saw in 2021, up to date, you still have several supporters being detained during the 2021 election build-up. These are still behind the bars. These young men, these women are also now possibly going to become part of the statistics of history repeating itself. How do we remedy that?
Well, but maybe before I answer that, is that in addition to those that are in jail, we have a number of people, including the 18 missing NUP supporters, that are unaccounted for by the state. And you saw the other day, we have been looking for 2 Kenyans who were in Uganda, were picked up by security. Their lawyers went to court. The state institutions led by the Attorney General came to court and said, no, we don't have these people. The judge sanitized their lies. And the next day, the head of state comes on TV with the commander-in-chief and says, we have been keeping these people in the fridge. So which helps you understand what could be happening to people like Sam Mugumya, what could be happening to people like Chibarama, Damulira, and the rest that have been untraceable since 2020 to date. But coming to the question that you asked, I think first of all, what enables security institutions to behave in the manner they behave? Arresting people, holding them incommunicado, denying them fair trial. I think it's because there is a political system that enables them and to behave in that manner. There is no accountability, there is impunity, but also it is what enables the regime to maintain power. So our responsibility as citizens of Uganda is to make sure that we create a political environment that will enable Ugandans to express their views without fear of being arrested, that will enable a policeman to do his job professionally, that will enable a soldier to do his or her job professionally, that will enable courts of law to perform their roles professionally. And that can only be achieved through collectively putting in place a government that respects rule of law. And the opportunity we have now is that we are in an election.
So that is an opportunity, right? But now we are trying to ensure that we don't see much of what we saw in 2021. As a party, how are you ensuring that the people who come to your rallies, whether they are National Unity Platform supporters or they are really just Ugandans wanting to listen to a presidential candidate and what he has to bid for them in the next presidential term, how do you get to protect them from actually facing the wrath of the titans, in this case the security agencies?
We first of all is that we are not the aggressors. We are not the ones that hurt people who come for rallies. It is security. I think 2 things. One is that the NRM candidate, who is the sitting commander-in-chief, needs to choose either to have elections or continue ruling without elections. Now that he has chosen to have elections, then he should accept that in elections, not everyone is your supporter. But I don't think that is a reality that he's ready to accept. But number two, what we are dealing with is repression that we talk about. Because you cannot ask us that how are you going to protect people that have come to the rally from the state,
from those that
from a state infrastructure that has gone rogue. Our responsibility is to continuously, because repression can only be stopped through resilience, through resistance, and through consciousness. For people, first of all, to understand that what is happening is that they are the victims and that they can only liberate themselves, and that nobody is going to come from another country. It is not the presidential candidate. It is not the people that work with the presidential candidate that are going to liberate them. And so that they know that when they have an opportunity, for example, to participate in an election, they should know this is an opportunity for them to change the trajectory of politics in the country, that now we know we will suffer. We'll be beaten, we'll go to the rallies. We'll go and vote even if we are beaten. And we'll make sure that we remove this government from power, so that even the subsequent government that will come will know that if you go against your contract with the people protecting them, that the people of Uganda will not tolerate you. But for now, the people of Uganda have tolerated this for a long time. So it has become normal. That's why these people think they can do it casually, and life will continue.
This was a unique incident to speak of, your being in Bara, and how different supporters and those that had come to attend the rallies were treated, as such as the pictures that we are seeing on screen right now. But going forward, we saw by and large a peaceful moving of your party and the candidate and the team in the different other regions. As you're moving closer to West and South and Central Uganda, you get to see that there's a lot of younger people that are coming up and following in the rallies. And these young people can be, wanting some sort of chaos, creating some sort of chaos. How are your teams managing and ensuring that those that would want to leverage on the popularity of your party are actually sort of dealt with?
I think first of all is that the young people are not the ones bringing chaos. It is security that is bringing chaos to these young people.
That's provoking them?
Yes. No, actually not provoking them, but bringing chaos. Actually, where we have been, and there has not been any chaos originating from security infrastructure. The people have been peaceful. And you are particularly asked that as you move south in Ankole region, there is a school of thought, but first of all, even before that, for a long time, the NRM regime has tried to propagate the propaganda that NUP is only in Uganda. Now, the impression, when we moved to these parts, different parts of the country, and particularly even when we moved to Ankole and other, it was very clear that their lies have now been deflated. There's also a school of thought that they don't, because this is where NRM for a long time has done the rigging from. In some of these places, people are not allowed to vote. They vote from even when you come to vote, and I think you have seen clips from another DC of Mbarara district. You have seen clips from the candidate in one of the constituencies in Zimbabwe, Rwashande. You have seen clips from different other people saying, here we are going to vote on the table, meaning that the right of a citizen to vote in secrecy is being taken away. Now they are worried that with the now emerging popularity of our candidate in Ankole region, where you're going to have very many young people at these polling stations to make sure that they vote for their candidate, that may not be achievable, and that's why they are trying to frustrate our campaigns in that area.
Okay, all right. We do have a reporter on standby in Mbara, Kosi Nakahira, who's also having 2 cents of this conversation, how last week was picked up by different stakeholders, especially those that are in the local leadership within that area code, but also today being the very same day that you do have parliamentarian candidates picking up the mantle to campaign across Mara. Do we expect a different state of security when it comes to parties that are not in the ruling government? Good morning to you, Coslin.
All right, good morning to you, Priscilla, and you watching us today on Morning at NTV. We are back again. Today it's a beautiful Monday, and of course, as you just heard from Priscilla last week, we just had the National Unity Platform president. He was campaigning here in Mbara, and of course now he's in Kigezi. He's starting his campaign in Kigezi. But then we want to look at what happened last week. And as you're aware today, candidates that showed interest to stand in as members of parliament, they're beginning their campaigns today. So it is just a busy week. We're starting a busy week. By joining me today morning is Mr. Bright Muhumza. Bright Muhumza happens to be the coordinator of the National Unity Platform in Western Uganda. Very good morning, Bright. Glad you could join us. We want to first start from what happened last week. You know, we've been having peaceful campaigns. What is building up the change? Why in Mbarara? We first saw it in Churhura when your party got some issues with the NRM, with people who were putting on yellow t-shirts. I don't want to call them the NRM. But then when we came here in Mbarara, we saw after the riot that happened here in Mbarara City, who were heading to Vizwera in Mbarara district. And there was the security had to get some of your supporters saying that they have some crimes, they've committed some crimes. Let's start from there. What is building the change now that we've seen here in Mbara?
Yes, good morning, my friend, and good morning, viewers of NTV. My name is Bright Muhumza, and as you said, I coordinate the activities of National Unity Platform in Ankole sub-region. And I am now a parliamentary candidate for Mbara State House on National Unity Platform ticket. My dear viewers, I want to tell you that a right to vote is my fundamental freedom. It is a fundamental freedom of every Ugandan. It is my responsibility to choose the leaders I feel and I want that should lead me. Because nobody should be there and dictate who should lead me. It is my fundamental freedom to choose those that I think are fit to lead me. Now, unfortunately, that fundamental freedom is being violated by the state. And I told you that when you contest against the NRM, you contest against the state, not the NRM as a party. Because you see, you find the DPC and the whole police structure fighting you. You find the structure of the RDCs, all the RDCs are fighting you. They are working around the clock to make sure that you don't hold a successful rally, you don't speak to your people, they don't want your message to be out there. You find the whole structure of these other ISOs and the DSOs, they are looking for you, they want to meet you, all that. It is not easy. But now we know we are fighting with, we are contesting against the government that has been in power for 40 years. And for that matter, therefore, we are prepared for many other issues, including arrests, abductions, and sometimes death. Because you see, I have told people before, but I can repeat it now, that politics is a matter of life and death. And some people think it is an extreme statement, but I still stand for it. Because you see, if you choose leaders, bad leaders who are going to, like I can use the word eating, who are going to eat your roads, you can die of accidents. If you choose bad leaders who don't matter about, who don't mind about your health care, you go to the hospital and don't find medical people, the personnel are not there, the medicines are not there, you die. So that's why I look at it as an issue of life and death.
Mr. Bright, we understand, yes, politics is a matter of life and death. But then Why in Barara? Why do we see this happen?
Yes, I am giving you a history because you see, in 1980, when President Museveni contested here as a member of parliament, he became number last. Because he was contesting against Sam Kutesa, he was contesting against the gentleman here who died recently called Guchamingi Michael, Guchamingi, then and President Museveni. That time, he did not score even 1,000 votes in Barara. The Ankole people rejected him that time. And their reasons of that rejection are very clear and known. I don't want to repeat them now. Now, because of that historical shame, some of them, when he went to the bush and captured power, they want to appear as if they love him, as if, so like an issue of bringing reconciliation. But now, you look at this issue of which type of Banyankore are playing extremist, the politics which are violent, the violent politics. You're saying, if you don't want to support Museveni, we shall deal with you. Those ones are not these other entire Banyankore people.
Are you saying
I am saying in Ankole, there are clusters, there are people who...
Are you saying they are the Banyankore that started what we saw because the supporters were heading to Bizuwera, and then we see security saying, there are crimes against you. The National Unity Platform asked which crimes, and they could not explain. Up to now, there has been no clear explanation.
I have told you that there is a small group of Banyankore, a small group of Banyankore, who think that nobody should contest against President Museveni. And that same group, it's the same group that rejected him, that same group that is saying that nobody should contest against President Museveni. It's the same group that rejected him in 1980. Now, in that attempt, they are trying to do whatever they can to make sure that they resist, they disperse, they violently deal with that person who is saying that the rule of President Museveni for 40 years should come to an end. We're saying our people have been violently abducted, arrested. Went to the police yesterday, they said we cannot even access them. We had taken food to them, they said no. Others were taken to Chuhura, others were remanded. I am told others are still missing. We have just started this, and this is not news to us, because you see, we know Bufumbiro has been in prison for some good time. Dr. Besje has been there for now over 8 months. We're saying, when you stand for the truth, you be ready to stand alone. And you know that leadership costs. Sometimes it can cost death, it can cost detentions, harassment, people can lose jobs, people can lose families and marriages because you are standing for the truth.
Just right there, we want to know, now that we see such violences that we've been having, what does this mean for the National Unity Platform in Western Uganda?
It means that we are increasing in terms of popularity.
How?
You see, if we are not increasing, for example, there are 8 presidential candidates. Most of them have been here. Because I know you are working with the #1 media house. NTV. You covered most of these presidential candidates. You didn't see any dust being raised. Dust is being seen because grader is passing around. My presidential candidate, His Excellency Chagulanyi Sentamu, you know, he is the most loved presidential candidate. Last time he won elections, but he was not declared. Now people of Ankole want to make a statement, because there is also this narrative of saying that people of Ankole are in things that everybody is eating well in government, that there is no poverty here, which is not true, that the hospitals are full of medicines, which is also not true, that they think that we get tribal allowances, which is also not true. It is now a responsibility for Banyankore here, people in East Jersey, people in Western Uganda, to make a statement and tell the entire world, the entire other parts of Uganda, that issues that affect them in Busoga, that issues that affect them in northern Uganda, in Uganda, those other issues also exist here.
Right. We want to know now that campaigns are starting now. We've been having presidential campaigns, but you people are also starting very soon. We shall see mayors, councillors, they also start their own campaigns. Now we want to find out from you with what we saw, what happened last week. Now we are shifting to your own campaign.
Yes, yes.
First of all, how prepared are you? What's your source of income? Running a campaign as a member of parliament, how much do you need if you can just spend for me? How much does your budget?
To be specifically, I started with my team and we came up with a small budget of 280 million.
280 million?
Yes. Out of that much, we don't even have 5 million. Yes, that's the fact. But we are trying to mobilize, and some of the monies we had budgeted for, definitely includes media and other things. Now I want to thank NTV for hosting me here this morning, because this is a contribution. I am going to reduce my budget by like 10 million. By appearing here, it is a campaign strategy. So the issue is we badly need money. But you see, money cannot be on the epitome of your campaign. You cannot concentrate on money, and money, no. We're saying, let the people you want to represent in parliament hear your message. Your people should be able to understand that this man is going to represent us in parliament. This man understands the 4 constitutional roles of member of parliament. Because there are members of parliament who even don't understand their roles as MPs. There are very many of them.
Yes, you're just saying you don't want to front money a lot. But then look, when you look at how our politics have been commercialized, if you look at the ruling party, recently concluded the NRM primaries, we've had people who participated tell us that if you don't have money, then you're not going to win an election.
Definitely.
Without our politics have been commercialized, this tool, how ready are you to face your opponents?
I'm saying that I know that for the fact people used $1 billion fighting for a flag of NRM, and some of them even didn't get. The people used the money in NRM elections and even in the last general elections, and they never won. So money cannot be a summary. It cannot be what it takes. No, we cannot. Now, even if it is, it cannot be me to say it is okay, we need money. No. It is my responsibility to tell Ugandans and viewers that it's about issues a candidate is trying to front. It's about the message. What message is he carrying? Does that person understand the problems and challenges of his constituency? Does he even know the boundaries? You see, there are members of parliament who even don't know the boundaries of their areas of jurisdiction. You find him in Isinjiro campaigning to become member of parliament from Barate South. So I want to tell you that really it's not about money. It's a responsibility to defeat money. The power of money can be defeated. It has been defeated before. I can give very many examples in Western Uganda. You remember the campaigns of Kawonda and Kahinda. You remember? You remember Micho Francis went to parliament and he was fighting against the incumbent who had amassed a lot of wealth. There are many examples. Okay. So I'm saying it is my responsibility to tell the people of Barate South that now it is their responsibility to use the powers enshrined in the Constitution to change leaders for betterment. Okay. We are going to Parliament to change things positively. We are going to Parliament to represent them because we know there are issues of Chwamba. You know, there is a lot of scarcity of water in Chwamba. Their health center has not been worked on. The roads to Katukuru, to Chwamba, to Rwachachizi are impassable. We have a broken bridge here in Katete. We have a broken bridge in Karugangama. We don't have a lagoon. You know, a lagoon, nobody knows this. A lagoon is a waste management, a sewage treatment center, especially in urban areas. Most of these areas here in Mbarara, people are building and they are using flush toilets. Now when you flush, that sewage that goes to the toilet, it must be managed well, that it doesn't go to the rivers and cause diseases. Because some of these people, they don't have proper disposal of that waste, of that sewage. So it is our responsibility to wholly represent the people of Mbarate South and tell them that tell the parliament that the people of Mbarate South are living in absolute poverty. They need income generating projects. They need industries in Mbarara, because you see, you cannot create jobs for your people without industries. You cannot create jobs for your people. Yet the tariffs of electricity are still going high. You know, they told us lies that once Umeme goes away, that once Umeme goes away, the tariffs were going to reduce. But now they have completely refused to reduce the tariffs of electricity. The cost of water is still high.
I beg we are going to have more view.
Let me say this just one. Do you know that in Mbarara here, in areas of Biafra, Shizungu, down here, people still survive on sewage. They go to they're called malaria channels, and pick water for using at home, for cooking, for drinking directly. And they are saying that they are member of parliament, who has never said anything of floor parliament concerning the people from Mbarara State South.
Anyway, thank you. Glad you could join us this morning. He's called Muhumuza Bright. Apparently, he's vying for the member of parliament seat from Mbarara City South. We shall have you more on our shows. But then, to remind you watching us this morning, that we still have presidential campaigns ongoing. The campaigns for members of parliament are beginning today. And then we hope also to see the senior 6 candidates begin their examinations. They began on Friday, but then today they're writing their first examination. So we are going to be giving you all the updates here on NTV. Let me take you back to the studios. Regina, good morning. A very good morning, you watching us.
Bright Muhumuza is definitely an enterprising man that would be nice to have a cup of coffee with, just to better understand the dynamics of politics, especially concerning the western region of Mbarara. He was giving us a little bit of history there, the relationship between Mbarara and the incumbent Yoweri Museveni, and how it could be the backbone of the fueled incidences that we saw while a new presidential candidate was traversing Mbarara as a city and also as a district. Now, bring it back to studio. Right now, first of all, I wouldn't want to be a senior 6 candidate because with this pressure mounting up, now MP candidates joining the race, doing examinations, my final examinations under this pressure is definitely something that we need to be very sensitive about. It requires all stakeholders on ground to ensure that no way are these national examinations affected, especially when it comes to security. So several supporters have been detained from the Mbarara incident, but I mean, if we pick it up from 2021, there's still many that are behind bars because of the unresolved arrests since then. We're witnessing a repeat of history. I kept telling people that first relax, wait for November, and you'll see what will come out. And indeed, November has come and it has started with a bang. It begs the question, is it due to legal bottlenecks? Is it due to political interference, or is it a lack of coordinated responses from the different stakeholders? The main convener of the electoral process for us here in Uganda is the Electoral Commission. Then, of course, you do have the security agencies, police to be exact, coming in to ensure that there's law and order to this exercise. That law and order being shaken a little bit right now. So there's the rising supporter clashes that we're seeing. But Katana, the one thing I also want to find out from you, with what we saw in Mbarara and by the pictures that have been showing, your candidate was given 6 bodyguards to ensure that he is safe at all times in wherever he will be going, with whatever caliber of people he will be interacting with, dealing with, and more so with the interference of other security agencies and parties. So it begs the question, how safe is your candidate right now?
Well, The biggest threat to our candidate is the state infrastructure, which is captured and compromised, and now is being deployed as a weapon to do politics for Museveni and NRM. So the police officers that we are talking about are part of that infrastructure. So certainly they cannot secure him from that the same infrastructure that has deployed.
So on the D-Day of this incident, did they do their level best?
Well, they try in
they protect their boss.
They try in the circumstances, but I believe they are also confused on what to do, because even they are deployed by command of the IGP. Muchibi, who has been leading the group that is harassing our campaign team, is deployed by the IGP. The RPC of Mbarara, who was on scene, is called I've forgotten his name, Baga something, is deployed by the IGP. Kaganzi, who was commanding the field force unit, is deployed by the IGP. So you can clearly see that there is confusion. But even sometimes the people that are commanding the fracas are senior to the ones deployed to guard him. But also you ask yourself, they are guarding him against who? Against their deploying authority? So that's where the problem is, that in Uganda there has been a fusion between the state on account of longevity, but also the style of politics of Museveni and NRM. There has been a fusion between the state and Museveni, the individual. So the state, he's the state, he's the law. So all these, the people deployed, really, it is just ticking the box.
Okay. So from the legal perspective, what is the National Unity Platform going to do in order to handle this situation and avert any futuristic situations? Are you going to have a meeting with the IGP? What next?
No, these problems cannot be, well, they cannot be handled legally in the strict sense of it. The legal team has been given instructions on what to do to pursue both the institutions and the individuals that are involved in these violations of human rights. But this is a political question that must be addressed politically. That does not mean that in doing so, people are not going to be prosecuted for crimes they have committed in this process. If you are the commanding officer, if you are the specific individual involved in violation of human rights, we are going to pursue them. We are going to pursue the institutions. But we know that even if you pursue the IGP and is successfully prosecuted as an individual, it will not change anything. The one who will be appointed by the same system will behave in a similar manner. So our responsibility and duty as citizens of Uganda is to make sure that we give a political prescription to the political challenges. Remove a government that empowers security personnel to engage in politics, and instead of doing enforcement, they are just using their offices to give political leverage to the incumbent. We must create a political environment that enables people to contest fairly, and the state institutions are there to make sure that they play their role and mandate without fear or favor. The other challenge is that you now have the Electoral Commission. Unfortunately, the chairman of the Electoral Commission thinks that he can explain away the partisanship. He can explain away the inefficiency and inability of the Electoral Commission to perform its mandate fairly and without favor. But it never happens like that. He should not take Ugandans for granted, think that they cannot see through his oratory. People are able to see that you are just trying to explain away your partisanship, you are just trying to explain away your inefficiency. So if he should either do the right thing or keep quiet.
Okay, all right. So as we do continue on, we'll be getting more details from our teams on ground that will keeping us abreast with what's happening, how Day One is picking up momentum in the different parts of the country. Now, we also want to analyze the relationship between the UPDF and the police and the dynamic that is. Councillor Katana, you're one that is the perfect person to help us understand the legalities around at what point does the UPDF come into the electoral cycle, because these are agencies that operate, but they operate between or within legal limits. So what are the legal limits of the UPDF right now? Because on the defense of security agencies, by and large, they say that their role is to protect Ugandans at whatever time.
Well, first of all is that Uganda Police Force, UPDF, have separate and clearly distinct mandate under the law. If you are doing civic enforcement, it's the responsibility of Uganda Police Force. Now, Uganda Police Force also can ask the UPDF or other security institutions for reinforcement when it is necessary. But I think the mistake we make is to think that that framework that is on paper exists in practice. In practice, there is a cocktail. In every operation now that involves these campaigns, you'll find UPDF operating and with the Uganda Police Force, and sometimes you even, unless you really dig deep, you will not know who is in command of the operation. You may even get the wrong impression that police is in command of the operation, but when the people commanding the operation are not from Uganda Police Force, but UPDF.
But they're commanding police.
Yes, because they want to create an impression and manage PR that it is police that is doing their job, but when in actual sense, it is UPDF. Then you have all these other agencies in the security infrastructure, for example, the intelligence community, who ordinarily have no business engaging in partisan politics, openly participating in these activities. In every district you go to, you'll find the people that are involved in frustrating our campaigns. Is the RDC, is the DISO and their infrastructure, the intelligence officers of the different divisions and battalions in the different regions of the country. So they are clearly doing politics. So it is wrong for anybody to look at these operations from the surface. You must dig deep, speak to the people in the community to understand who is playing which role. And I can tell you that they are not following the legal framework. That is why even the manner in which they conduct these arrests is clearly a departure from what is stipulated under the law. You find the people that are conducting these arrests. I have given you an example that I was personally assaulted. But even if you watch the video, the person does not have their name displayed on the uniform, but that doesn't mean that you cannot find out the name. You will find the people who are conducting these operations.
Yet by law they should have their name tag on them. You'll
find that they are putting on masks. In fact, the people that you need to pay attention to in these operations are the people that are putting on plain clothes and masked up. Those are the people that are coordinating all the harassment that is happening at these different places.
That being said, let's also analyze the role of the Electoral Commission in these cases. Many issues are resurfacing every election cycle. From your analysis, what has the Electoral Commission done to actually address this increasing violence or clashing between supporters of a political party and state security?
No, the Electoral Commission, first of all, because we have had...
Are their hands tied?
We have had engagements with them. Since 2020, even in 2020, 2021, they would tell you, no, we don't command the army, we don't command. They accept there is a problem. But when they come to the public, they create a different impression. So the Electoral Commission, first of all, is not just like other state institutions, has also been compromised and feels is part of, it is an extension of the political machinery of the incumbent. But number two, they are scared and subdued. You see how like some other citizens are scared of even just tweeting or writing on social media? And so are the people at the Electoral Commission, so are the people serving in other state institutions. But like I said, the biggest challenge now we have is that you have the leadership of the Electoral Commission, the chairman and his team. Instead of addressing concerns, they come out to sanitize the violations. For example, what transpired in Barara, I saw the Electoral Commission saying, oh, the problem came from the people of NUP. They have not conducted any investigation, but because they feel they have a duty to defend the people who are harassing us, that's why they rush to come out and create a wrong impression.
That being said, Benjamin Katana, as we close this conversation, the final question I have for you, how then can public trust and confidence be restored, because this is a continuous process?
Well, the people must know public confidence and trust by the Electoral Commission or other state institutions is earned. It is not obtained through explanations, but through actions. But the people of Uganda must know that this is not the only entrenched system that has ever disgraced the planet. We have had situations like in Gambia where you had people that are running all state institutions trying to rig a process, but people turned out massively and voted it out. And I think that's the message that we need to give the people of Uganda, that the only solution to all these problems is not lamenting, is not folding arms, but participating in this process and use it as an opportunity to change the trajectory of our country.
Benjamin Katana, National Treasurer for the National Unity Platform, thank you so much for your time, and
always a great pleasure.
We trust that all will be well as the days are building up. So as Uganda is getting now deeper officially into this campaign season, with MP candidates picking up the mantle, the intersection between democracy, elections and security still remains a fragile balance for us as a country. So ensuring a credible, peaceful election demands that we not only demand professionalism from our state security agencies, but also vigilance and restraint, both from the political actors and those that are, wanting to cast their vote, wanting to listen to these candidates at whatever level, and citizens by and large. It is a collective responsibility. We do pause on this conversation. We pick it up later. Do stay with us.
Well, it's still morning at NTV, and this time I am coming to you from NTV municipality in Wakiso district, for we know the fact that today the A-level examinations have taken a start, and I can tell you that nothing unusual has been reported in NTV as these candidates are going in for their examinations. The exams have been picked in time from NTV police station and been taken to the schools where the candidates are going to be sitting for them. But away from that, of course, we know very well that politics today still takes a center stage, that the parliamentary positions or seats or candidates have started their campaigns today, according to the Electoral Commission, but also the local government, the mayors and the rest. But in Entebbe, 10 people are vying for the position of a parliamentary seat, and of course among them is the incumbent, who is Michael Kakembo. There have been several engagements between security and the aspirants to agree on the procedures that will be followed in as far as how these campaigns are going to be conducted. One among them is that security is not going to allow any processions on the Entebbe highway towards the airport to interrupt those people who will be coming or going to the airport. But different playgrounds have been set for them, those who will be campaigning. And if I can just brief you, some candidates will be at Kiwafu Primary School, Chigungu, some of them will be at Entebbe Waxy Ground, among others, in as far as how the security harmonize with these people. But Entebbe means a lot, especially when it comes to this election process, that the army contributes a high, let me say, a good percentage, about 40% of the voters. And we do not know whether the security has cleared some of these candidates to go to the barracks and campaign for them. I just want to speak to one of the parliamentary aspirants, who is the incumbent, Honorable Michael Kakembo, who is just going to give us a brief of what was agreed upon with the security in as far as how they are starting their campaigns there. Good morning, and thank you so much for joining me on Morning at NTV.
Yes, good morning, Ivan, and good morning, NTV. I want to greet our viewers, especially the people of NTV, and to thank you for visiting me.
You have had several engagements with the security on how you are going to be conducting these campaigns. What did you agree upon, if you can just give us a recap?
Well, it is not a matter of agreeing, but of course we were advised on how to have peaceful campaigns in these generations. It is different from what we have been having before, because this time we have been restricted to have rallies in the open places, like football or whatever, football grounds and others. But what we agreed in our harmonization is each one should be in his own whatever location without the interference of another to avoid commotion. I think we thought it is not bad. We accepted. And as far as I am concerned, today I'll be launching my campaigns. And I'm starting from Chigungu. Of course, other colleagues, they have different playgrounds. Chiwafu, they're there, they're in Katavi, and other areas. But what I know is, until you said is major military-dominated kind of constituency, and how we campaign with them. I know those who are interested in politics will find time to come and see and hear what we are talking about.
Honorable, that's where I was going to. Yeah. The army has barracks, they have spouses, they have their children, and themselves who are voters, and they contribute a certain percentage of votes in NTV. Are you being allowed to go campaign, talk to them, rally them to vote for you? What did you agree upon?
No, in NTV it is a common practice. We are not allowed to access the barracks. Those are no-go zone. But when we are organizing our rallies, soldiers and their wives and their children, they are free to come and attend and listen to our manifestos. That's what we have been doing. Of course, as the opposition, we have been restricted and we don't go there, and I don't mind about that. Of course, our friends in the NRM, for them, they can even access, they go there, they hold meetings, but for us, we are not allowed. But it's not a new practice. To me, I am used to it. They are human beings. Those who are interested, they come, they listen to us, and many of them vote us. Yes.
You're a member of parliament. You've been a member of parliament. When you go to the airport nowadays, I've seen campaigning posters and all those things. Are you also allowed to go and campaign at the airport? Because partly your voters are also at the airport. Have you even taken there your campaign posters? Because I've seen some, especially for the ruling party.
Well, I would say that we have, in politics, you just have to be smart. When you are dealing with a dictator, of course, those are some of the areas where we are restricted. You cannot even find a signpost, a poster for the opposition member of any candidate, not to be the president or member of parliament or councillors. We're not even allowed there. But of course, people who work at the airport are the people we stay with. They are our brothers. We meet in the bars. We meet everywhere. They also come for our rallies and listen to our manifestos. So we are smart enough. We know how we can go about that, reach out to them, talk to them, convince them. Because always we've been doing that.
Okay.
Yes, since politics started in NTV, I've never seen a poster of any opposition member at NTV International Airport.
Okay, my producer says time is bad, but just in 15 seconds, tell us how your day is going to be like.
My day is going to be, of course, full of vibe. We are starting from Chigungu. That's where I will launch my campaigns, and then NTV people are waiting to that. It's going to be fun. We have musicians, we have politicians who are going to speak to them, and I'll be unveiling my manifesto. I'll be telling the people of Entebbe what I have done in the 5 years I've been there, what I've failed and why I've failed, and why am I coming back in 2026, 2031. What do I have on table for my people of Entebbe? I told you Entebbe deserves better. Entebbe still need my voice, and I know that voice will do some good.
Okay, for time reasons, Honorable, I will leave you here. You know, I see your team preparing to go for the rally. We will join you maybe later on to see what you'll be telling the people of Entebbe. But for time reasons, I have been told to link to my colleague Herbert Kamoga, who is in Luer. And Herbert, I understand you're tracking the USCE examinations. What exactly can you tell us from Luer? Kamoga?
Thank you so much, Ivan, and thanks for the head teacher of this school, who's going to bring us up to speed of how many learners are going to be sitting there, how is the preparation, and how are they to make their exams higher institutions. And sir, you're welcome morning at NTV. Please say hello to our audience and please tell us the number of students who are right.
Good morning, all our viewers. My name is Commodore Amos, the deputy teacher, Luwero Secondary School in the Rural Town Council, as we have had. Yeah,
today we're beginning examinations for USCE. How many candidates are writing today, and how many are they?
We have 186 candidates for USCE this year, and indeed God has blessed us that every year the number of candidates are increasing, and we believe them so well. And this morning they are about to start in a few minutes from now. They are starting their paper of physics, paper 1, and in the afternoon we shall have physics paper 2 and the literature in the English language.
It's been 2 years of intensive learning and preparation. How confident are you that your students will be able to make it?
Yes, we have. Our teachers have done all the best to prepare these learners. We have got the teaching done so well. We have gotten the parents supporting us. We have got the board support us. And that we are going to have the best results ever to come next year when the results are released. And we believe that the learners are going to do their best, having put in a lot. And we believe in the God that has kept us for this long is still with us, and we believe that we are going to have the best results ever.
Yes. So the promise you can give to the parents who are watching right now?
Our parents, we thank you for trusting us with your children. You made the best choice, and we believe we are not going to disappoint you. And when the results come back, we are ready to celebrate with you. So please, thank you so much, our parents and all the others that have supported these children right from primary school to where they have reached today. We believe we shall have the best.
Thank you so much. So the senior 6 candidates are today kick-starting their physics paper 1. That's the paper they are beginning with. And here at Ruwero SS, the deputy teachers really told us that they are ready and waiting for the time to come such that the students can start their paper. I want to wish all candidates success in their examinations. And as you know, the candidates for elections, I mean parliamentary and local government, they are also kick-starting their campaigns today. So I want to hand here. My name is Herbert Kamoga. I want to link you to my colleague, Stephen Mbide, who is in Chitante. Stephen Mbide, if you can hear me, please tell us what is